Today we're going to be discussing the difference between growing in pots versus air prune beds. I think you guys are going to really like this episode. We've got a lot of information to jam pack into these few minutes, and I think you guys are going to take a lot from this clip. So please stay tuned. Please subscribe if you like this video. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed or if you learned something from this, and feel free to leave a comment letting us know what you learned.
Hey guys, this is Devin with Four Rivers Farm. So we're going to be talking about the difference between the trees that came out of this pot and this air prune bed. So a disclaimer first of all is like, these are just the results from this specific air prune bed, this specific pot in Ohio with me doing it. Like, this is not at all conclusive. Like, there's so much variability possible in this situation that this is really just for fun, because this is not a like, oh, air prune beds suck compared to pots or something. This is just this season, this bed, this pot. We're gonna take a look. So I already took one of them out of here, that's why they're kind of weird into the side. But here, I planted a bunch of these thornless honey locust seeds in this pot in the spring. This pot has some holes in the bottom, and I put a bunch of seeds in and they all came up fine. I didn't put too many in, this was like some leftovers. So we'll take these out and take a look at the trees and the roots and whatnot. So it's a pretty easy process. Just pull these out. And there's our roots and our trees. We'll kind of pull them apart. Looking good, nice and fibrous. Honey Locust has a fairly fibrous root to begin with, though, so it doesn't necessarily have a tap root. So all these trees are really consistent in their morphology, except this one's kind of small, but that's okay. So yeah, these are actually really nice. Roots look good. There's no real tap root. It kind of splinters off. Super fibrous. This is going to do super well. Really happy with that. One thing I do when I empty out these pots is I do it in a location that I want to build the soil up. So like in this whole area, I've been doing this because I want there to be like more of a raised bed here. Just a time saver. Okay, here's the air prune bed. One of them, I had 3 with these trees planted out. We will now pull some out. And actually, I think this is in kind of a solid block, so we can probably just dump this, kind of like we dumped the other one. Just see if we can kind of dump it out. Yep. Okay, let's take a look at the side profile of that. Wow, look at all the roly-polies. There's tons of roly-polies. And there's also, look at all this fungus in here. Interesting. That wasn't really present in the pot. Okay, interesting. All right. Now we will pull all of these out. Okay, that took a minute. We got all of the air prune bed seedlings out. Air prune bed, there they are. Now let's do some comparison. I'll just grab a few of the largest ones. So those are from the air prune bed. I'll just grab a few of these ones randomly. These are from the pot. So there's obviously a big difference here, but there's several reasons for that. For one, I only had a couple seeds left, so when I put them in the pot, they were not nearly as densely spaced. I mean, some of these were literally growing out of like the same hole in the air prune bed. These had a lot more space. The pot is also a lot deeper than the air prune bed. and it's also sitting on the ground, so it stayed wetter longer, and there was more soil, so there was more the opportunity for the roots to get deeper. So overall, I'm sure this was a lot better in terms of moisture than the air prune bed. But I mean, the air prune bed produced a lot more. I just don't know if I could probably do the same amount in 2 pots. So I don't know. I mean, the takeaway is that in this season on this property, with the care I gave them, the pots produced better seedlings, or at least larger seedlings. I mean, you could also make the argument that you were able to kind of thin out the ones that didn't grow as well in such a competitive environment. These were more babied. Some of these were really small. I'm just going to get rid of them. Whereas the ones that grew in here, it's hard to tell which ones aren't as aggressive. So I mean, there's pros and cons. Another question is it even necessary to grow larger seedlings first year? I mean, these are both going to do fine when you plant them. It's not a huge difference. I mean, some of them, like, you know, like this one's going to require babying more than this one. But this one will honestly probably do better after the first season of planting. So, I mean, I'm happy with the results of both of these. I think I would be better off putting another maybe 6 inches on top of these air prune beds and making them like 15 inches deep. And that's what I'm going to do next year. Because I'd really love to get a bunch like this. I feel really good about, for 1 year seedling, I feel really good about selling these. These are totally viable too. I just feel like this is above and beyond, and I'd rather produce that quality. So I don't know. This was a cool experiment. Those are notes with Honey Locust this year. I have the same experiment with apples, so we'll do that in another couple weeks once the apples are ready to come out. We'll see. There's a lot more variability in the apples, so that'll be interesting. Thanks you guys for watching. God bless you guys. Leave a comment down below, subscribe, and check out the Etsy store because we now have these for sale on Etsy. I will put a link in the description. They're a really good deal. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Love you guys. Have a good one. Time saver.